let us examine the core values that are important to the way we create amplification networks. As we said, core values are a key foundation of the design principles. Now, when we design impact amplification networks, these are networks that include actors from government, civil society, private sector, all the people coming together to solve large, complex, and dynamic societal problems. They collectively end up designing programs. And when you design these programs, there are some fundamental values that we need to really take care of. And so let's unpack a few. First important one is a deep belief that you always need to catalyze interactions, facilitate proactive participation, value exchange, and co-creation between state, civil society, and markets. It's not that I have a program which I will implement and you will follow. It is always two-way, it is interactions. So how do you design for interactions? I think the operating word here is catalyze. When we deeply believe in the power of value exchange and interactions, it inspires us to catalyze, to do things, to actually set up actions, to set up, so to say, forums, capabilities on the platform, or even policies, incentives that make people interact rather than isolate people and create silos. The second important element of this is that when the problem is large, complex, and diverse, we are dealing with a lot of different types of entities. So how do you engage with a problem for multiple different perspectives? How do you ensure that various key actors are taken care of and they're co-creating inclusive solutions that work in remote parts of a country, or they work with severely challenged communities, or they work in different cultural contexts, they work in different situations, whether they are social, economic, demographic, environmental, whatever be important, political. So it's important for us to understand, how do you deeply believe that we have to resolve? I think the important part is resolve, that we have to resolve for diversity, rather than we care about diversity. And yes, of course, diversity is important. No, we actually have to take actions that help these things come together. And the third one is system leadership. Peter Sanjay has very famously said that a good system leader is the one who actually can see the system as a whole. How do you ensure that you distribute your leadership? How do you co-create solutions by engaging with the system? How do you ensure that you solve problems by anticipating where the system could head if a certain set of initiatives or ideas were interjected into the system? You're always able to visualize the entire system, its entities in all its beauty. And you're able to work on things and lead others. I think the key question is leading other people through the system, rather than saying, oh, system is a problem. How do we deal with this? You actually help people come along, help people understand it more and more, help people appreciate the complexities of the system, help understand its nuances. And that's what makes a platform such as a societal platform different. Let me give you some examples. At Next Step, when they're working with the teachers in the education system, it's very important for them to catalyze interaction with the different government departments, the local education authorities, the teachers. And if you go at the level of the school, it is interaction between students, teachers, parents, sometimes even the local village community heads. And you design for many of these interactions into the platform. If you look at ECHO, they're designing themselves for interaction between what is called as hubs. For example, a tuberculosis hub, or a cancer hub, or a mental health hub, where expertise resides, where great doctors reside, and spokes, which are across the entire community. And they're trying to understand how to create hub-spoke interactions, or even create spoke-spoke interactions. I'm a doctor, you're a doctor. Can we come together and talk to each other? Avanti is trying to create interactions in the financial inclusion space, between the civil society organizations that are serving the people, between people and themselves, in trying to understand, how can our livelihood endeavors help each other so that we can be better. And so in all these places, you're trying to catalyze the interactions, you are trying to ensure that you are seeing the system as a whole, and you are always caring about the entire ecosystem coming together and doing things that is appropriate for them. I wonder, in your mission, how do you catalyze interactions? How do you address diversity? How do you demonstrate system leadership? I would be curious to know.